Welcome to Birds of Prey Sports Talk. We're your hosts, TJ and Jared here, and we're doing a little bit something different with the intro here, but we're on to the Red Series now, and we started off strong with a 10-3 win, and so I just want to pass it to Jared. We'll go more in depth of what happened in Game One.
Yeah, so in game one, the Orioles win 10-3. I feel like that was our first victory where we didn't have to, stress about anything late in game with the Reds coming back or something like that. But I go inning by inning here. The Reds get one in the first, Orioles get two in the second, two in the third, three in the fifth. Cincinnati gets two back in the sixth. We get three in the seventh, and that's all the scoring for us. Orioles get 10 runs on 12 hits, no errors. Cincinnati gets 3 runs on 7 hits and one error. Our top hitters in the game, Austin Hayes, who DH today, goes 2 for 5 with 3 RBIs and a run scored. Adley Rutschman also gets 2 hits, 2 for 4 with an RBI, also walked once. Santander goes 2 for 5 with 2 runs scored. Yeah, that's kind of crazy. He went 2 for 5 and didn't get an RBI. That's kind of sad. Ramon Arias goes 2 for 5 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Mullins 2 for 3, so he's kind of hopefully catching into a groove, a little bit after coming back from injury. He goes 2 for 3 with an RBI. Westberg making his I forgot to talk about that. Westberg is making his major league debut in this game.
Right.
He gets his first hit, also gets his first RBI. He walks once and scores once, so did a lot of firsts in this game for him. McKenna also goes 1 for 2 with 2 runs scored. Mateo somehow walks twice and scores a run as well. Our pitching line, unfortunately, we do have a basketball lineup, but not because it was bad pitching, because of a rain delay. So not that bad. While before the rain delay, Cole Irvin was kind of pitching well. 3 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, no walks, and 3 strikeouts. He lowers his ERA on the year to 7.18. Not great, but he's working on it. Zimmerman gets the win. He's 1-0 in the year. He goes 3 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, no walks, 2 strikeouts. He does give up a home run, but really salvages the bullpen in this game. Not salvages, but helps out. Baker goes an inning, zeros across the board with 2 strikeouts. Mike Bauman comes in, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, 2 walks. So his command has been a little shaky ever since his appearance in extra innings on the Saturday game versus the Mariners. So that's not very good. But he does strike out one. Cena Perez goes an inning. No hits, no runs, no earned runs. He does walk one, strikes out none. And all in all, we only give up 7 hits, and we hold the we'll drop my phone. we hold the future superstar Ellie De La Cruz to 0 hits. So that's it's good. That's good on us. He's tearing up the league so far. In his early part of his career. So it's nice to hold him to. I believe he was over 4. Let me just check, make sure I'm not wrong. Over 4. He did score somehow. I actually don't know how he scores if he didn't get on base. He must have No, he must have got hit by a pitch. I think I hit by a pitch. I could be wrong, but so yeah, I mean, I have a quick question for you before we move on to the next game. I mean, Bruce Zimmerman, really saved the bullpen for us. On the rain delay. Are you happy about his performance? A guy from Towson, really from Baltimore, showing out for the Orioles.
It's good to see a local, just a local guy, joining the team and doing well. And I'm happy for him. I'm really happy for him. Very solid pitching performance against, a team that is on a rise. The
Yep.
Reds have really, I'm not gonna lie, Ellie De La Cruz has really done wonders to the Reds. He's introduced a spark in them,
Yep.
and he's helped them a lot. He's helped them win a lot of ball games recently. And so it's good to see Zimmerman do well against a team that's on fire.
Yep.
And
And okay.
I'm sorry, I was just, and just a great local story.
Mm-hmm.
Towson, it's a kid from Towson, pitcher on the Orioles, doing well. I mean, it doesn't get better than that.
Right.
So
And we needed him, big tonight, for because Irvin does go only 3 innings because of the rain delay. So for him to come in, throw 3 innings as well, get us to the seventh inning. Well, we only have to use 3 relievers. After that, 2 thumbs up. And how do you feel about Westbrook's debut?
huh.
First game in the majors.
That's funny because I wanted to ask you that, but I feel like he did well. I really like our farm system guys. I really do. I really feel like they're really talented. They're well put together ball players. and they just have a lot of potential. And I really hope that, when it comes to the hitting coaches, all the coaches on the team, I hope that we can invest a lot into these guys to get them to be the best that they can in their career.
Mm,
And, I'm very excited to see, more from Westbrook in the future. I think
mhm,
he could be our premier, second baseman. You
mhm.
know, we haven't really had one really since Brian Roberts. And,
So
oh yeah, Scope. How could I forget Scope? But I'm just excited to see what more he can bring to this team. I love
yep.
that we're so young. We have a lot of youth. We're
Mhm.
very deep. I mean, especially our farm system. It's like we're just bringing out guys, that are just so talented. And I'm just
Yep.
excited for the future. I really am. I know one of these guys is gonna become a superstar.
Yep. And I mean, I think the thing that impresses me the most is just the big league at bats that he took. I mean, just I believe on his first appearance of the year, he's down 0-2, walks. He walks, and he had a great group of friends behind the home plate. I don't know if you saw that. That was really cool. And he, like I said, gets his first hit, gets his first RBI. He did a whole bunch of firsts. So I'm really proud of him. And the crazy thing is, we're not done prospect wise. So a lot more young talent to get on for this team for a postseason push, and hopefully for a title push for all I know. So it's this team has a lot. Um, how do I say it? Potential,
Yes.
to be just great. And then who knows? We may even replenish the prospects that come up. So we're gonna be like a never-ending prospect tool, like how the Dodgers have or the Rays or whatever. So it's exciting times in Baltimore.
Right. And I just want to bring up something really quickly. We talk about this a lot. I'm hoping that, we expand more out and overseas when it comes to prospects. Like I want us to scout in Korea and Japan. I really I know what you're laughing about, but I just really want us to scout more over there and bring more talent, from over there to our team because they have
Especially over there, in Japan or whatever, like where Tani
yes,
comes from, just
yes.
insane talent there, like insane.
They're very good, man. They're so good over there.
Right. And even down like, in the Dominican Republic or whatever, or Puerto Rico, Venezuela, all those countries down there, like I mean, I think like I said before, I think we have a development system down there and in one of those Latin countries down there. But if another big name, Japanese or Korean, free agent comes out, the free agency pool, I'd like to make a shot and
Yeah.
go for him. Even if it's like hell, yeah, 6 years, 100 and something million, like how Otani came here and did it, or Masahiro Tanaka did. Like those two, those are the two I can really, and Ichiro, I guess too. So those are like the three biggest names coming out of those countries. And um, Duquette, Dan Duquette, our old GM, felt like it wasn't worth making a presentation to Shohei Otani, and you know, he probably would have came here anyway. But I mean, it would have been nice to have
Wish
him.
he did.
Yeah, I mean, it's like we're doing anything different than the Angels in those years. They went as far as us, which is nowhere. Anyway, we're gonna head to the next game, where the Orioles do unfortunately lose. Oh, I forgot to mention we got our 48th win in
Yeah.
the win in that game. But we do get our 30th loss in this game, in the game two of the series. The Orioles actually strike first, get one in the second. Cincinnati gets one in the fourth. There was another rain delay, I believe, and Cincinnati gets one in the sixth, gets one in the eighth, and that's all the scoring for this game. Cincinnati gets 3 runs on 5 hits and one error. Orioles get one run on 3 hits, and no errors as well. Our top hitters, really not anybody to be honest. But I guess Westberg, he went 2 for 3. And then McKenna got an RBI. So that's kind of our top hitters in the game. Not much offense for us. Our pitchers, Tyler Wells goes 6, 4 runs, 4 hits, 2 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 7 strikeouts, and 1 run, 1 home run given up. That's his biggest problem. Keegan Aiken, one inning pitched, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Brian Baker goes an inning, 1 hit, 1 run, 1 earned run, no walks, and 2 strikeouts, but does give up a home run after the rain delay, I believe. Siena Perez finishes the game, goes an inning, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, 1 walk, and 1 K. not much going on in this game, really. I mean, the offense just kind of sputtered. You know, I mean, I mean, oh, and I forgot to mention that the Reds have, Edwin Diaz, right, from the Mets. They have his brother. I forgot his first name, but obviously his last name's Diaz. But he's a closer too. I just found out about that when we played them, and he's apparently a great closer. Like so, I mean, at this time, he gets a save in this game, 22 saves, 1.85 ERA. So not maybe not as good as Bautista, but I think Bautista's the best closer in the game. But I guess that's a story for a different time. Um, but Wells, another game where he gives up a kind of a I wouldn't say a crusher, but it's just kind of a disappointing. I believe it was for to take the lead at 2-1. I'm gonna make sure I'm right on that. Yeah. So the home run that the Reds hit did give them the lead 2-1. You know, Wells seems to be like a guy who can pitch. Maybe 6 innings, 80 pitches, kind of his max. His cap. Of how far he can really get into a game. He can get into the seventh inning, but you can definitely see it struggles. Especially when it gets to 85, 90 pitches. Most likely this year, we're probably going to put him on an innings cap. I believe people are saying 150 innings, so he won't be pitching past that as a starter at least. Would you like to see him as a long relief guy? I mean, obviously we'd like him as a starter, but coming off of Tommy John in 2019, you don't want to overwork him. Especially after he did get hurt last year too. It wasn't Tommy John worthy, but he still got shut down for the year after he got hurt. Going down the stretch, do you want to see him as a long relief guy? A guy to come in, maybe like Dean Kramer doesn't do too well in ALDS game 2. He gives her 2, 3 runs. Brandon Hyde doesn't want to throw him out there again. Would you like to see Tyler Wells come in and just? I mean, we already seen that before early in this year, but I'll talk about that in a second. How do you feel about Tyler Wells being more like a long relief, middle relief guy in the down the stretch and in the postseason?
I honestly wouldn't be opposed to that. Lately I've come at it with the sense where I want us to get a high caliber starting pitcher. And so I
Right.
feel like to sort of flip flop them, make because Tyler Wells is good. And I remember you telling me before, he's a really good pitcher. He just has a problem with the home runs. I remember you
Yeah.
said there was like a stat where if you took away all his home runs or something like that,
He'd
his
give up
ERA.
like 10 runs.
Yeah. And he's a really good pitcher. I almost said he's a really good guy. He's a really good pitcher, but I wouldn't be opposed to that. And I'm hoping that, by, the trade deadline this season, All-Star break, that we can bring in just a high caliber starting pitcher, just a
Right.
quality guy to sort of flip-flop him. Because I
Right.
feel like, his experience, his expertise during a long reliever situation in the playoffs will help out a lot, just
Right.
like what you mentioned. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah. I definitely do agree. It'd be nice to have, a long reliever that you're like, oh, he's gonna come in and he's gonna come in and shut the door down, whatever. Or damn, he's gonna come in and salvage the game or whatever scenario you could think of. I think Tyler Wells can do it, because he doesn't really get into big trouble early. It'd be one thing if he got to big trouble in like the second or third inning, because now you're talking about like a closer or a
Yeah.
middle relief guy. Because think about like Jorge Lopez, he got his All-Star appearance last year with us as a closer. He was a starter the year before and the year before that as well. He was terrible. I mean, this guy would look like Randy Johnson the first 3 innings, and then he'd forget how to pitch the rest of them. It'd just be like, oh, I'm Jorge Lopez. I forgot I got to suck, or So it's like he starts like being terrible or whatever. But it was like those first 3 innings. He's like, this dude is like a Cy Young candidate, and if they only counted the first 3 innings or 4 innings or whatever, how much it was. So I was one. I was like that same year in 2021. I'm like, throw him in the bullpen. I
Yeah.
mean, build up that bullpen. Just throw him in the bullpen if he's gonna only throw 2 good innings for you, and if he's gonna only throw one, put him as a closer. And I remember they threw him as closer early on last year, and a lot of people were like, "What is it? What is Brandon Hyde doing? Like, what is this? This is terrible." And he did pretty good for us as a closer last year before he, gave the keys to Bautista, and Bautista's been even better in my opinion. So yeah, I think what we need to shore up our defense, our bullpen, because that's going to be an important key down the line. Is having a reliable bullpen to come in because there's down the stretch, we're playing a lot of tough teams, and you're gonna need to have a bullpen to shut these guys down, shut the lights out. Like when they come in, it's like, oh yeah, game over, we won. And
Yeah.
if they do give up a run, it's like a genuine surprise. It's like, what? Like that wasn't supposed to happen, So like if Baker gives up a home run, or like Bauman gives up a home run, or Aiken gives up one, it's like kind of expected it. So like, but if Cano does it, it's like, whoa, that's what's supposed to happen. So we need more of those guys. Um. Anyway, we're going to transition to the last game of the series, the rubber match, where we do unfortunately lose 11-7, or 7-11, depending on how you like. I have a quick question. When you're talking about your team losing a game, do you put your team score first or the other team score first?
I'll put
Because like,
my
right, because like I'll say like the Orioles lost 7-11, but like it kind of sounds weird. You want to say 11-7, but
Mhm.
I don't know. I guess that could be a dialogue. That could be a whole video for all I know. um, but
YouTube short.
exactly. But anyway, let me see. Oh, Kyle Gibson started this game. Um, well, he was terrible. Um, he gives a 3 in the first inning, like top of the first 3 innings, 3 runs. But guess what? We get 4 in the bottom of the first. But then guess what? He gives up 3 in the top of the second. So now we're down 6-4. There's no scoring all the way up into the 8th inning, where the Reds get 1 in the 8th, but we get 3 in the 8th and tie the game. But then they get 4 in the 10th, and we get none in the bottom of the 10th and lose the game 11-7. The Reds get 11 runs on 16 hits, no errors. The Orioles get 7 runs on 10 hits and 2 errors, actually. Our top hitters, Cedric Mullins goes 1 for 5 with a run scored. Adley Rutschman goes 2 for 5. O'Hearn goes 1 for 5 with an RBI and a run scored. Hayes goes 1 for 4 with a run scored. Hicks goes 1 for 4 with a run score and a walk. Hayes also gets a walk as well, I forgot to mention. Oh, and Henderson goes 1 for 3. 1 for 4 with 3 RBIs and a walk as well. He did strike out 3 times, though, so that's not good. Westberg, another good game, 2 for 5 with an RBI and a run scored. And Frazier had the game tying home run, goes 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs and 2 walks and a run scored. Basketball lineup, or this is definitely a basketball lineup. And maybe a few bench pieces. Kyle
Six.
Gibson, yeah, there was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys we used. So 5 and 2, that would be the 5 starters and the 2 bench. So it's at the point where we can create a full squad. Give the Wizards some help. They need it.
Put new Baltimore team.
We got some tall guys. I mean, Felix Bautista be center. He could be like a Shaq. Anyway, we're off topic. Kyle Gibson goes 4 2/3, 9 hits, 6 runs, 6 earned runs, 1 walk, and 5 strikeouts. He actually raises his ERA to 4.66. Mike Bauman comes in, has command issues again, but goes to inning, no hits, no runs, no earned runs, 2 walks, and no strikeouts. Danny Coulomb comes in for an inning, shuts the door down. Zeros across the board with 2 strikeouts. Junior Cano goes an inning and 1/3. He gives up 2 hits, 1 run, 1 earned run, no walks, and a strikeout. Felix Bautista, no, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna break it down in a second. But yeah, Felix Bautista comes in, he goes an inning, 2 hits, given up, but no runs, no earned runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. Keegan Aiken goes 2/3 of. Oh my god, I don't even gotta start with it. Keegan Aiken was freaking terrible. He gets a loss. He's 2-2 in the year. He goes 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 4 runs, 2 earned runs, 1 walk, 2 strikeouts, and a home run given up, and raises the ERA to 6.85. Zimmerman comes in and gets the last out. No hits, no runs, no earned runs, no walks, and 1 strikeout. God, reading that freaking pitcher's line is it's like almost the size of the damn lineup. Yeah, Keegan Aiken is terrible. If I had to just be honest, he really is what blew the game. I want to break down here Felix Bautista's 9th inning for you. The top of the 9th. So Felix Bautista comes in. Eli De La Cruz gets a single on a ground ball in the infield. He was going to beat it out because he's as fast as Usain Bolt. He steals second. Then they single. The Reds get a single, so now there's a runner on first and third. Sorry. Joey Votto comes. So now there's runners on I'm trying to remember this correctly. Second and third with no outs. You get the fastest guy in the majors on third. Felix Bautista comes in, strikes out Votto, strikes out Spencer Steer, and then has the next guy pop up for 3 outs. That's just clutch.
Yeah.
Like that's amazing. Like Felix, I know we lost the game or whatever, but that's amazing. I mean, that's pressure. And I mean, with the fastest guy in the majors on third, he can freaking steal home if he wanted to with Bautista's slow windup. But
Mhm.
no, he gets 2 strikeouts, and that's what he needed. No grounded balls, no flyouts, because you're not throwing Ellie De La Cruz out. He needed those 2 strikeouts, and then you could do whatever you want
Right.
for the third out, pop up, ground out, whatever, because that run won't count. So just clutch, and I guess it's time to ask this question: is Keegan Aiken's era with the Orioles over with this?
I definitely would not trust that man in a playoff game. So I wouldn't be surprised. Like I always say, I just want consistent pitching on this team. It's
Yeah,
either one thing or the other because it's like our offense is on, but our pitching makes it hard for the offense and
right.
just can't keep up, and we shouldn't have to. Or it's like the pitching is good, but the offense is just flatline.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like one thing that always needs to be a constant is the pitching.
Yep.
Pitching is just it kind of I might be wrong on this, but I've always looked at pitching, if we're matching with the NFL as a defense. A defense keeps you in the game. It gives the offenses many chances, and if we have consistent pitching, our offense will have chances, to either keep us in the game or win us the game.
Right.
And so that's why it's just very important for us to just get this, straight by the time uh the pennant race after the All-Star break comes up.
Yep.
Because we can't be losing any games. We can't be losing any ground to the range. I don't know if that matters, but the other wild card teams, we
Yeah.
can't move on to them. So yeah,
Right. And I mean that's kind of what I was saying earlier. You want the bullpen guys to come in and be like, all right, time to shut the door down.
right.
Nothing, no funny business or whatever. We're coming in and like how the Royals did to us in 2014. You knew if you didn't beat their starters, you weren't beating their bullpen. So that's one of the most important. I've heard Jim Palmer say that on the broadcast all the time. When we're playing certain teams with good bullpens, beat the starters because you're not beating the bullpen. And I want a bullpen like that. But it feels like there's too many unreliable guys. Like too many on and off type of dudes. Where it's like if they're on, like they're really gonna look good. If they're off, it's not going to be pretty because Felix Bautista may have an off night, but he'll still probably get 3 outs, even if he gives up like 2 or 3 hits.
Right.
So that's elite, But then you got like players above average or maybe just average. So, but yeah, unfortunately, we do take the series loss. It would have been nice to take this. It feel like we need to check Brennan Hyde's DraftKings account for putting in Aiken. He must have had the under on something. The over on the Reds getting 10 runs. No, but I mean, he was kind of put in a weird position. He had guys who have been overworked, and then you already used your 2 best relievers. So who the hell are you going to use? And
Right.
unfortunately, it was that fool, and he cost us the game. But what are you going to do? It's a good team. It's not like it's a bad team.
He needed
So
that. He needed that quick 5K. He needed that quick
right,
5K.
exactly. He's not getting paid enough by the cheap Angelo system.
And they're billionaires.
As we think. But anyway, they don't spend money on Jackson. Anyway, before we go, I just want to make a comment about the. I was really impressed with the Pride Night that they showed at Oriole Park.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen it. Like they had like like the Pride thing on the what's it called, the warehouse. They had the Pride flags in the flag court. They had the big one in the center field. They had one up in the third deck where they don't have the seats open. And throughout the game, the Orioles were tweeting out different resources and hotlines for people of the LGBTQ community. Type of honestly statistics that were genuinely surprising and upsetting. Possibly like suicide rates or whatever stuff like that, and just raising awareness, and that was truly a pride night. There's a lot of teams that just put a flag up and say it's pride night. It's like, no, that's just baseball with a flag up there. No, that was truly a pride night. And then throughout each inning, they were going through and like interviewing people of that community, and even small, like black owned businesses there as well. So just spreading awareness for all these places and these communities, and it was truly a nice thing to hear. And all these people's stories were amazing, and the different thing. Like I remember this lady had like these just like plushies or whatever that she made for like I don't remember exactly what she made it for, but it was just a nice little thing. It was
Yeah.
really cool that they had all these people on there. I don't know if you saw that on the broadcast, but it was definitely like a nice thing. So really, I'm really happy and proud that the Orioles did that. And that's all I really gotta say about this Orioles versus Red series. You got any more last thoughts?
I just want to say it's always good to have inclusivity,
Right,
especially in terms of sports. So,
right,
I'm glad that as as a fan of the Orioles, as the Orioles organization, as being a part of as it being a part of Baltimore, that they do something like that.
right,
So I'm glad that they did it too, and I'm glad that it was so well put together.
right,
So yeah, that's
right,
just
right. So yep, that's our breakdown of the Orioles, or series recap of the Orioles versus Reds. Like I said, an unfortunate series loss, but we do get our 48th win of the season, very close inching to 50 before the All Star break. It'd be nice to get it this next series versus the Twins. We got floppy hat night, wine shirt night, and which I'm going to with my mom. So hopefully they don't disappoint. Um, I want to spoil alert that, but don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also subscribe to our second channel. It's Casual Cinema. The link should be in the bio. And we're Birds of Prey, and we're out.
yeah.